Guys, welcome back to A Step Above. I greatly appreciate that. Today is going to be the second video in our series of Interview with a Woman. I have my special guest with me today.
Sabrina Andrews.
Sabrina,
good to be here.
Oh, well, most definitely. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
How can people get a hold of you if they want to contact you for anything?
Definitely. So my personal Instagram is BossLadySav05, and I'm posting pretty regularly.
Okay. So where does the Boss Lady come from?
So I have specialized in operations and compliance for the cannabis industry for 8.5 years, and as a result of leading amazing teams in that industry, I got nicknamed Boss Lady, and it's kind of stuck all this time.
Okay. So that said, guys, we are jumping into the interview. If you want to watch the full thing, subscribe to the YouTube channel and check us out. So we'll see you then. Sabrina, I really appreciate you doing the interview with me. Just so for the audience's sake, can you give us a little insight on what prompted you, other than me asking you, what prompted you to want to do the series?
Absolutely. I think it's important that people understand the idea of look good, feel good, and aren't afraid to embrace it, but also recognize you can play with it, and it's a reflection of mood and what you're doing and functionality. So I think just continuing to empower people to explore their style is awesome.
Well said. Thank you. So let's jump into the interview.
Yeah.
As always, I have a list of questions that I'm going to ask you. We're going to go through, again, the casual wear, date wear, biz wear, and a plethora of many avenues that involve dressing well, and also feeling well, to the point earlier. So the first area we're going to talk about is casual wear.
Okay.
So when it comes to casual wear, as a woman, what type of shoes do you like to see on guys?
I think it has to suit what you're doing. I love to go to the gym. It freaks me out when people are wearing those toe shoes. So wear sneakers at the gym, people.
I see what you're saying.
If you're at a family picnic or something, I come from the South. Boat shoes are fine with me.
Okay.
Nice pair of loafers. That's awesome. So it should be functional, but kind of go along with what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's weird. I mean, we went to prom and everybody wore flip-flops with their tuxedos, and I was like, it's ironic, but not cute.
I mean, I get wanting to be quirky. When you look back in the years, you may be like, what the hell was I doing?
What were we doing?
Can't change that now. It's
No.
just memory. So, if I can be a little more specific, what about pants in a casual setting?
I think the fit is really important. If you are going to wear low slung jeans, I don't want to see your ass.
And by low slung, I'm assuming you mean
down to
saggy.
your knees. Yes.
Okay.
A little sag is fine. I understand it. It's for comfort. But there's something to be said for wearing clothing that fits and where it needs to hit on the body. So I think that's really, really the key, regardless of anything else, is building a good foundation of solid fit.
That makes sense. Speaking of fit, there's a lot of different types of fit. You have slim, skinny, regular. What's a no-no?
I should not be able to share the same pair of pants with you.
So you're saying as far as like as tight they are, or the guys the same size?
If you can wear my
what it is?
leggings, it's a no.
Okay.
If you could wear my skinny jeans, that's a pass for me. That's just not my aesthetic.
Okay. That works. T-shirts.
A funny T-shirt or vintage T-shirt can be a great conversation starter. It might give somebody a little bit of insight into your personality. But again, like that tailoring that irony is really important as well. So if you're gonna wear an ironic T-shirt, make sure the rest of you is put together.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do you not like to see?
Crocs.
Crocs.
When you kind of gave me the format, that was the first thing that came to mind.
So in no setting, Crocs are acceptable.
No.
Guys.
No, I can't.
Crocs are not acceptable.
I can't with the Crocs.
There's so many alternatives. Maybe if you're at the beach, maybe Crocs or buy some body of
A
water,
slide, yeah,
something like
yeah,
that. But
an Adidas slide, those
I
are
think
classic
exactly.
for sure.
In any casual setting, I don't see Crocs as a go-to.
No.
Okay, moving on. Business casual or a business setting?
Mm-hmm.
I know you stated in your field, would it be fair to say it's a little more upscale or business appropriate, the type of wear you need?
I think it really depends on your position in the industry and the event. I'm a really big fan of a great sports jacket with dark jeans. I think that, I've interviewed thousands of people in the industry, and that's always really smart choice for a lot of young men. If you're headed towards a management interview, a management meeting, an executive level meeting, I think that's when you really need to up your game a little bit, go for the suit and tie kind of thing. I think what you've got going on, for kind of an event would just be a really smart way to dress. It's very memorable, and a lot of times when you are attending business outings, it's about networking and furthering your career as well as facilitating making connections. So a great outfit helps you stand out in that network.
I assume it has a lasting impression.
Absolutely.
Because people are like, I remember this person who had this on, this on. It's like, there's something about them that, I'm going to remember that
well
person.
Put together, not too funny, not all, tie-dye and that kind of
Makes
thing.
Sense.
But a smart outfit is the way to go, I think.
Okay. So what about shoes? In that more business appropriate, business formal setting, shoes?
I think, especially in the industry that I come from, some of those like leather sneakers can be a really smart choice. A well tailored pair of boots, whether it be motorcycle boots or even cowboy boots kind of idea. Quality leather is really the way to go. If you are going to wear dress shoes, making sure that they're well cared for and that they match what you're wearing. Please do not wear black and brown.
I agree wholeheartedly with that. I see why guys do it, because it's easy. They think, okay, well, black goes with everything, blue goes with everything. Let's put them together. Like, no. If there's two colors that probably don't go together, I'd say it'd be those two.
Yeah.
Now, can you wear elements of black and blue together? Absolutely.
Absolutely.
But you have to be mindful of how you're doing it. I'm thinking, okay, if you have a blue suit on, you can have a black watch strap.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
Or a black pair of shoes. But don't come with a black suit and blue shoes.
Unless you're going for the Elvis look, and the blue suede.
Something like that, then okay, you're a rock star, but it's just, guys, be cautious. Be very
Call your
cautious.
mom and ask.
Or hopefully mom knows. Or just talk to me, I'll help you out. Okay. Pants. Pants-wise. What's a good business color and fit?
Sure. So again, dark jeans, regular blue jeans are not the right choice, and they should be more of a slim fit, not skinny, and certainly not baggy. And this is somewhere you do not have a sag if you're going to wear dark jeans for a business outfit. I think a great pair of khakis, if it's the right season, you could go linen, but that might even go too casual depending upon the business event. Just a well-structured pant is, I think, the right choice in those settings.
Okay. On a side note, what is your thought with, to your point earlier, you said when you dress better, you tend to feel better. So my question would be, in these business meetings or business environment, do you think a specific mindset needs to accompany you as you go there?
Yeah, if you're not comfortable, if you're fidgeting, if something's too tight, something's too loose, or it's itchy, you're not going to feel good about what you're wearing. Okay. So, try it on ahead of time, walk around in it. Can you move about? I know I've put on a couple of shirts and I'm like, I can't lift my arms. Can you extend your hand out for that? So make sure that it's functional, comfortable, and that you like what you see in the mirror, because that's the face and the image that you're putting forward to make you stand up a little bit straighter, feel a little bit happier when you are meeting in those instances, for sure.
So it'd be safe to say that not only confidence is key, confidence plays a big part in when I put these clothes on, do I feel different? Am I exuding confidence when I walk into the room and what I have on, it doesn't feel foreign. Mm-hmm. It doesn't feel like a costume. If I'm wearing a suit,
absolutely.
I don't feel like I don't do this so people can tell I'm uncomfortable. Like when I put it on, people see like, man, that's the man.
Exactly. Is it still true to who you are? Mm. It's just your best self.
Agree. I like that. Shifting gears, excuse me. Dinner dates.
Okay.
So let's talk about the dinner date. I know it's different for a lot of people because some say, well, depending on what environment I'm in. But at a step above, we know what environment we're talking about. So, that said, what should a man wear when he is getting ready for a dinner date?
Well, I think a dinner date's probably more of a second or third date. I find if you go on a first date, do an activity. It takes away some of that
drop the dime for you guys.
Some discomfort, some awkwardness. It gets the focus off of, hello, how's your dinner? And just staring at each other, trying to make conversation. Right. So save the dinner date for a second or a third date.
Okay.
And then, I think, choose something that is comfortable for your wallet. Mm-hmm. Don't try something brand new. You don't know how you're gonna, eat with your hands or chopsticks. If you don't know how to do that, you're gonna be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Make sure it's gonna agree with you.
It's a good one.
So, and then from there, dress to that. So say you're going out for an Italian restaurant, Angelo's down on 6th is awesome.
Okay.
It's a great date spot. And, again, dark jeans, a suit jacket, or a sports coat, depending on the weather, I think is really great. Dressing is, what's the saying? Dressing is a form of good manners.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So if you are trying to show a woman that you are interested in her, this is part of chivalry, is dressing to make her feel good about who she's going out with. You want her to look nice on your arm, she expects the same. And again, what we talked about before is it shouldn't be a monkey suit, something that, is foreign to you. You do not need to go out and buy a brand new outfit to take a girl out, because she doesn't want, otherwise you're presenting the wrong version of you. Something that's in your closet, great pair of shoes, comfortable, and that you're not going to be fidgeting with, and that aren't going to be too tight if you eat too much pasta.
that works too. So just to reiterate some of your points, dinner date's not a first date, guys.
Nope.
I agree with that. Second or third date. That said, wearing something to where you feel confident and you want to, without having to say anything, have what your clothing present that I'm going to put effort to being with you in public. Absolutely. And vice versa.
Absolutely.
So it brings me to another question. What if that's not reciprocated?
Sure. Well, I think then that tells you, one, it's a way to kind of figure out, is this a good connection? How do you approach social situations? Do we have similar values and outlooks on those things? Is it something that you can overcome, and maybe there was a miscommunication in terms of what we were doing. So I think that's why you go on a couple of dates, to figure out some of those baseline things as far as a connection and compatibility.
Okay. Good point too. What are you doing, girl? Okay, next question. What should a guy not wear to a dinner date?
I think you need a closed-toed shoe. So again, no Crocs.
You're big about Crocs or those shoes with feet.
I think that is really important. A closed-toed shoe would be my recommendation, and because if a girl was asking me the same thing, I would tell them either something with a heel, or something that is not a flip-flop. So I think that's really the key. And then from there, if you're gonna wear your sneakers, it better be your nice pair of sneakers.
So your nicest, cleanest pair.
Yes,
of
your
shoes.
nicest, cleanest pair. You know, not your regular gym shoes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that goes without saying. Hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
Making sure your clothes are clean and stain free. A clean pair of shoes. Not necessarily dress shoes.
Yeah.
But just a clean, nice pair of shoes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
You know, we all have our pair of running shoes that are beat up and got gum on the bottom of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, those are not our going out shoes, you know, our going out sneakers, if you will.
Okay.
You know, a great pair of tennis shoes is fine by me. I mean, I think a lot of people find that very comfortable, and it speaks to part of their personality and, you know, their interests. I know tons of men who collect sneakers on sneakers on sneakers. You know, and if you're making that investment as, you know, part of your wardrobe, show them off.
You know, I like sneakers, but only in the context of if I'm working out or maybe running errands and I have like shorts or sweatpants on. Outside of that, and again, this is just for me and how I dress. I'm wearing some type of leather shoe or closed-toe shoe because, again, to your point earlier, that's my personality.
Yeah.
I think if it's your personality and you can be confident about it, by all means.
Absolutely.
Okay. Next question. What type of clothing is a turn off and turn off? Turn on and turn off. Okay.
I think something that is just overdone. You know, if it is clear that you bought your ripped up jeans, that, you know, it's just over processed, I think is the word that I'm looking for.
Okay.
And that goes for, you know, any bit of attire. I'm not a huge fan of, you know, the over-processed rips, tears, fake bleach stains.
What about logos?
Logos, I think, are fine, but that should not be how you're trying to impress someone. And I feel that way a lot about women's bags, women's shoes, as well. Is, you know, if you're trying to put a logo out there to boost your status, in some way, shape, or form, everybody can see right through that, and it's unnecessary. You know, a plain white tee and fitted jeans and some great boots. Whew, daddy, that can go a long way.
Oh, that's funny. At first I thought you were gonna add the leather jacket in there. All that.
Oh well, then you know, then you're.
Like, I agree.
But you know, it can be. You know, there's something to be said about subtlety, and not being over processed.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And then turn offs. Yeah, I think sweatpants are fine, but if they're in good repair, you know, you didn't just roll out of bed.
Okay,
know?
So they're not.
Unless you're at the Walgreens picking up a prescription, you should not just roll out of bed in the same pair of sweatpants.
You know, I've seen some sweatpants with like regular looking sweatpants, and then I've seen like the really nice sweatpants.
Yeah, like the joggers, you know.
And they may have like zippers or whatever the case may be, but they look nicer to where like, okay, those look like sweatpants you would like go out in.
Right, or run some errands, or you know, something along those lines for sure.
Okay. I guess on a side note, the standard, I wouldn't even call it a standard, I would just say the level of dress from my parents' generation to me, I would say it has declined. Because again, this was back in the 50s, so how people dressed back in the 50s was a lot different than how they dress now. Do you think that plays a part on, I guess, the confidence in people and how people think society views them?
I think so. I think it goes both ways. You know, well, who am I dressing up for kind of attitude. You know, like we said before, dressing well is a form of good manners, and I think that was really pronounced in earlier generations, and that, you know, as we've evolved as a society, we've realized, well, you know, our attire shouldn't define us. And you're absolutely right, it doesn't have to define us, but presenting your best self is important. And no, you do not have to be dressed to the nines all day, every day, but you should know the appropriate times to put in that effort, and you should experiment a little bit so that when you are out and about running some errands and you see a cute gal at the dry cleaners, that you're going to have the confidence to say hello. And so I think just, you know, being mindful that opportunities present themselves at every corner, and so being somewhat prepared for that is important.
You make a very, very good point. On a side note, I've had this conversation with friends, and I am one who strongly believes that regardless of the profession you're in, the type of work you do, every man needs to have one suit.
Agreed. 100%. Yeah, because hopefully you're going to have a positive reason to wear that suit, and you're going to be excited to put it on, and how you look in it, and the time that you're going to have. But also, you know, sometimes there's negative reasons, and, you know, we all have
funeral?
to. Yeah, a funeral.
Work.
For a speeding ticket. You know, but we all need to be prepared, and life happens, and I think having a quality suit with, you know, good tailoring that, you know, you can put on with short notice, I think it relieves some of the stress that comes along with those kinds of events. Knowing that you have it already, you don't have to go out and spend a bunch of money to be prepared to attend one of those events, good or bad. And so I think just having the confidence that it's there when and if you need it is really important.
I agree. And to reiterate, yes, it's important to have that one suit. And I say it's I guess similarly with women, it'd be having that black dress.
A black dress, absolutely, yeah.
Just,
and a decent pair of pumps.
And it fits all those occasions that you can wear too.
Yeah.
Even if you are, no disrespect to my folks in Colorado, specifically Denver, if you're the Denver casual type of male or female, that's not your thing. Again, a couple things in life are certain. Someone's gonna die, somebody's gonna get married.
Yep.
Showing respect to those people as far as I'm going to show up in my best to either say my last goodbye or to celebrate your wedding, most likely one of the most happiest days of your life, and I want to be dressed for the occasion to show respect to you and everybody else who's there, because you're not only meeting the future bride or groom, but you're also meeting their family and their friends. So it's just something to just keep in the forefront of your mind. That said, jewelry, watches and rings, bracelets, what's your opinion with that on guys?
I think I have found jewelry to be somewhat of a reflection of culture. I grew up in New England in a town that is predominantly Italian, so having religious necklaces and pendants is very common. You know, a gold chain, bracelet, maybe a family ring. Everybody used to love big watches. You know, I'm very used to that. I went to school in South Carolina. Jewelry was not nearly as prominent. However, your school ring is something that a lot of men really cherish, as well as wedding bands. And you know, I think wedding bands have really evolved since, you know, our parents' era of just a plain gold band, where now men have a million amazing choices that really suit them and their personalities, and really put that accomplishment on display. And I think too, in a lot of, you know, here in Denver, you know, we have a great mix of cultural backgrounds where maybe it is big chains, maybe connection that kind of ties them back to nature. So I think everything that's, again, my whole thing, it's not over processed.
Okay.
That it has significance to you. I think buying jewelry just to have it on display is the same idea of logos. You're over processed and you're not actually impressing anyone. Whereas, you know, if it could be a conversation piece, I think that really allows you to kind of share something specific about you, something about your heritage, something about, you know, your interests. And so I think being smart about those choices is really the ticket.
So there's not really a definitive answer of yes, you should wear it, or no, you should wear it. It's more of a reflection of what values that you have, or what pieces are more sentimental to you. Like you said, does it tie you to a specific period in your life? Is it something school related or fraternal related? I agree on all those points of, I think guys, we should wear it, but don't wear it just to say I got this.
And don't tell me how much it cost.
Yeah, good point. Don't talk about that stuff, but if it's something that can start a conversation where I didn't just buy this because it looked cool,
Right.
more so, how is this a reflection of me?
Yeah.
Okay, how does this match my personality? Is there a story behind it?
And I think if you do make a big purchase because you got a promotion, or you know, you got your dream job, you sold your first album, you sold your first book, you know, you launched your, you know, TV series, whatever it is, then yeah, again, that's perfectly fine. You can celebrate your success, but again, there's more depth to it than I just had money and I felt like blowing it.
Yeah, I don't know anybody like that. I mean, we in Denver, you know. Unless you go like towards Cherry Creek, you might find that, but not over here. That said, cologne. Yes, no, on guys.
Yes.
Do you think, in your experience, out of 100%, where would you say the number is with guys who don't wear cologne on a daily basis?
Oh, in Denver, more than not, tend not to wear cologne. I think for a lot of men, they save it for something special, which I get. But I also think if you have the right scent and it, you know, just gives you a little bit of confidence and it enhances, you know, your overall vibe, yeah, it's a great investment.
Agree and disagree.
Okay.
Now, guys, I would say out of 100%, only 10% of guys wear it on a daily basis.
I think that's probably a good estimate.
Yes, you would not be incorrect in saying saving it for a special occasion. But what do you deem as a special occasion?
True.
It's like,
Yeah.
is it a date? And I, for me, as someone who has a collection of cologne, someone who wears cologne every time, if I'm going to work or if I'm going out, I'm wearing cologne. Why? It smells good.
Yeah.
Women, their sense of smell is more sensitive than men, so I know they're gonna smell it. If they get in my aura, it may be unfamiliar to the point where I'm not around men who wear cologne.
Sure.
So when I lock onto it, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was that?
It means they're wearing too much, because how close are you getting to a man that you know he's wearing cologne?
Good point. Good point. I would just say in my bubble.
Right.
Is that a little better?
And that's the ticket too, is with men and women, you should not be able to smell your fragrance unless you've hugged them. That's, I think, really critical.
So not walk in the room and you smell it.
Yeah, no,
more so,
this is not 8th grade gym class where you're
Axe.
showering in Axe.
I remember that.
Right?
That's what we had.
Yeah, exactly. You know, anyone they should not know your fragrance unless you've brought them in close enough for a hug.
So something where, again, bubble, where you and I are being able to pick up on that, like, okay, this is a good scent. That said, thoughts on guys that wear cologne?
In terms of impression, I think it depends. I think it depends on the cologne. Again, this is something where if you like it, it's probably a good choice because you have to wear it. Don't wear a cologne that you don't like. And I think a lot of men and women can run into this problem where, a significant other, their mom, a family member, whatever, gives them something and they feel obligated to wear it. That's the wrong. Yep. So I think, do what scares you. The worst that can happen is that person's not interested.
Okay.
But, I've found this between men and women in particular is you assume because someone looks or dresses a certain way that then they have a certain personality. And more often than not, I have been happily surprised that, that really, really gorgeous Instagram model looking woman over there, that she's absolutely lovely and loves college football as much as I do. And that, that vice versa, that this other person you would hope is just really friendly and outgoing is actually a mean girl. And so I don't think that your attire or someone else's attire should dictate their personality, and I think it would be unfair of us to judge someone based on that. And if they are what you were worried they are, then that sucks, and thank goodness you don't have to waste any more time.
Yeah, I agree, and I want to add to that again, confidence is a big thing, and as someone who had to build confidence over the years, I can say at one point in my life, if I was out and about and I saw a woman to your dress today, there's a different approach. It's not like club game.
Right.
It's like one would be thinking, I can't use those lines on this person, because again, unless you're just a guy and you just got it like that, by all means. However, the majority of the guys may think that I can't approach this person, talk to this person like that, based on how they look. And again, yes, you're judging them. At the same time, there's something telling you that, okay, from how they look, I have to come at a different mindset.
Yeah, I have to adjust my angle, for sure. But I think that that's really important for all of us, is that we can integrate ourselves into unfamiliar situations, but do it confidently.
Okay. Last question.
Yeah.
What are 3 habits that you find sexy that a man does?
I think taking good care of himself, whether, that is a fitness regimen, some sense of spirituality or religion, eating healthfully. I think, self-care is becoming more and more apparent. I think somebody who engages in hobbies that expand your mind is really important. So reading, listening to podcasts, engaging in arts, whether it's visual stuff like what you do, or you're a painter, or you're knitting at home with your grandma. I don't know, but something that is kind of expanding your mind in a different way is really sexy, because then that gives you something to talk about and learn from each other. And then third thing.
Kind of gave several of them.
I know.
I'll say
That's the complete set.
Okay, and that's fine too. So again, to reiterate, having hobbies, taking care of yourself,
Yep.
I assume mentally and physically, and
Just expanding your mind.
expanding your mind.
Continuing to
Expanding
learn.
your mind. Okay. So always making yourself a more, I'm not going to say a better man,
No.
a more refined man.
Yeah.
Because as us guys, we tend to get in the habit of, how can I get better every day? You're going to be chasing that the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Let's change the narrative. How can I be a more refined man? What can I do to sharpen my skills in areas that I find interesting? Big thing, finding hobbies, finding some type of purpose. That said, I really appreciate you doing the interview and being a part of the series. Can you let our guests know one last time how they could reach you?
Sure, yeah. Sabrina Andrews, Boss Lady Sab 05 on Instagram.
and I will leave that Instagram right here so you guys can check her out. Leave her a message. Let her know what you liked about the interview series, and also give her a follower. So that said, guys, I appreciate that, and my special guest with me today, as always, like, share, comment, subscribe. I would greatly appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time.